DAO Watch episode 6. Now, there's been a little bit of a delay in this episode coming out because I was ill. Plus, more importantly, it was Christmas and New Year's, which is a good time for me to do partying and socializing and family and friends and alcoholism and overeating. So we done that. This episode is all about PIVX, Dash, Evmos. Those are the usual three. And our guest DAO this episode is SISMO, which is all about digital identities. But this is a pretty great episode, so I do hope you enjoy. Oh, and Happy New Year. Hello and welcome to the 6th edition of DAO Watch. I am your charismatic host, Cryptosi. You may have noticed that we missed the last fortnightly update because I was ill. I had the flu that everybody forgot about because Corona was around. But the regular flu is still here, and he tried to make an attempt on my life. So yeah, we beat the regular flu and we're into 2023. So without further ado, I think we have quite a short episode lined up. Loads of really interesting things happening in the world of DAOs. The more I research for these shows, the more I learn, and it really is becoming a pleasure. On today's show, we're going to do Dash, we're going to do Evmos, we're going to do PIVX, and we are going to have a special guest DAO, which is another Ethereum-based DAO called SISMO. I'm really excited about SISMO. So let's get started with the OG, the double OG, triple OG, Dash. I call it the OG because it's, to my acceptance, it's the first real popular DAO in the shape of DAOs that I like to refer to DAOs as today, which is autonomous organizations with a treasury where people get a vote and you dispense the money that way. Right, so this first proposal is for marketing for the Russian-speaking community. Nice and simple. I think that is it all there. I'll leave it like that so you can read it. You can also read my own addition to the discussion. But long story short, these guys are asking for 20 Dash, which is about $1,000, give or take, so that they can do some marketing in Russian-speaking countries. They mention, obviously, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, amongst others. I guess it could also be for Russian-speaking nationals around the world. So it's in the Russian language. It's a little bit more than just translation. So they will be doing things a little bit more than just translation, but translation is one of the things. They also have their own Telegram channel, incentives for members who are in those Telegram channels. So I guess they'll have like little giveaways, like rain bots and stuff like that. Special activities like comics, pictures. I think they mean memes here. The thing I like about this is that English is clearly not this person's first language. Makes the proposal nice and concise, but it also makes it more authentic. Is a long-term Dash activist who will be treasurer, holder, distributor. So it's all going to go through one single person. It's only a small amount. 20 Dash for this particular month, and they've had it for the next 3 months, so it's 60 Dash in total, which is about $3,000, but this particular one is for $1,000. And they've got some videos. I'm not going to watch any of these because they would be in the Russian language, which I'm not that up to speed with. So we're not going to watch them. We could have a quick insight into how many views they get. 1.1 thousand views, only 63 subscribers. That's quite a lot of views for that few subscribers, much more views than I get. So well done to them. Yeah, pretty good. pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. As usual, I'm going to do the pros, go through the pros, the cons, and then give a verdict on what I will or would have voted for. The pros are obviously it takes Dash to a non-speaking market, which is a huge market, the Russian market. It's got to be, I would estimate, close to 1 billion people. Crypto is obviously growing in that part of the world for various reasons. The more there are sanctions on Russian companies, the more crypto becomes attractive to them, I guess. Not only Russian companies, Russian individuals as well. The payout is quite small. It's not something that the Dash Treasury is going to miss. It's worth it. The people are also proven. We can see what they've done. We can see how many views their videos have gotten. You can even watch the videos if you can speak Russian, or even if you don't speak Russian, just to see the quality of the content that they're creating. Let's go through the cons. There's no discussion here of the legality of supporting Russian-speaking segment. I assume it'd be okay, but there's no telling with the Americans. We know they like to get their guns out. Very little data regarding the size of the Russian community. I'd like to see some metrics on how many people there are in the Dash channel, in the Telegram channel. Also, like, how active is it? How many messages are there per day? Do they offer a support team? Is that something that they're thinking about? There's also not anything regarding a long-term roadmap, which I would like to see. What sorts of things are you guys planning on doing for the next 3 months? If this is an ongoing thing, after the next 3 months, what about the next 6 months? What about the next year? It's also a bit of a con that the payment is so small. Not a con as in a scam, but a con as in like a negative part of the proposal. I wouldn't mind seeing the proposal have a slightly larger amount of money. They could get more done. They've proven that they are doing things. So it would be interesting, and I would like to see this actually ramped up. Is there any other Russian-based alternatives to YouTube? There's no info on anything like that. I'm assuming most Russians don't watch YouTube. I'm assuming they have their own user-generated content video site. Okay. Overall, what am I going to vote? I'm going to vote yes on this. I'm a huge fan of multilingual proposals. I'm a huge fan of people doing proposals from outside of the English speaking community. I think it is testament to the fact that the actual community of the project is bigger than just Americans and Europeans. Well, English people and American people, if you Spanish or whatever, but it's good to see that there's Russian people, or if you see something like this from Chinese or Japanese or Korean. It's always good to see these types of proposals. And so, yeah, it's definitely going to be a yes from me. Quite easy. I did put these points across as a question 2 days ago, but I didn't get a reply. How many members in the Telegram chat? How many messages? What videos you plan on making in the future? Oh, and are there any plans for merchant adoption in the region? I think that would be an interesting task for these guys to take on. How closely do they work with, if at all, the core group or any other development groups being funded by Dash? That I would like to know. Do the core group get an input? Do they get to give an input? Sometimes you'll find in different communities they have slightly different ways of marketing things, and the new products being created by other development groups, like wallets, for example, it will be interesting and probably good if they worked closely with these Russian-speaking people to keep the Russian-speaking people up to date on what's going on and market it for them. Finally, thank you for this proposal. I'm in support of it. Nice and quick. That was pretty painless. So yeah, that's a yes from me. I do like that one. It looks like it's going to go through as well. It's got mostly yes votes, few no's, some abstains. Next, PIVX. There is a proposal from JS Kitty and Tuvok. I have covered these guys before. Well, I covered JS Kitty before, when it was just PIVX Labs. Now they've changed it slightly. So what they're going to do is they're going to put 2 developers on full time, and they're going to be paying them 20,000 PIV between them. I don't know how they'll split it, if they'll split it 50-50 or if one's senior and one's junior. So it might be 75-25. There's not actually any information here that says if they are 50-50 or if they're senior junior. Lead DevOps and OPSEC. So it just intros into what these guys are going to be doing for PIVX Labs. I can't remember which episode it is, but I will put a link to it in the description of which episode it was where we did look at PIVX Labs first. But it was I think it's great. It's amazing. I really do like what these guys are doing. It's great for DAOs. It's great for PIVX. Splitting it up like this, however, I'm kind of torn, to be honest with you. This way you've got 2 developers. They're going to be full-time, which is great, and they've got background into what they're doing, which is also great. We know what they've done, we know what they've accomplished because they've been working there for a little while, and they've also put what he and she have provided for the lab so far, and it's good. The issue I've got with it is that it then means that instead of us just trusting them to organize their money how they see fit and to work for the network, what we now will have to be doing is making decisions on everything that they do. It's 2 reasons why I'm not that much of a fan of that. Is firstly because it means we'll have to be paying a lot more attention, which is easy for me because I don't have anything better to do with my time, so I can easily pay attention to everything that's going on in PIVX. But the other masternode holders, some of them may hold masternodes in 10 or 15 other projects. They may be members of 10 or 15 other DAOs. I think this level of micromanagement may become tiresome for them. It's difficult to assess every single idea that these guys have and say whether or not we think it should be built or shouldn't be built. I would be happy to defer my vote over to JS Kitty or Tuvok when they come around and say, for example, should we fund integrating Block DX into my PIVX wallet? I would be happy to let them decide if we should do that or we shouldn't do that. There are so many moving parts within those sorts of decisions that are beyond the scope of my knowledge and beyond the scope of my understanding, that I would prefer if a lot of those decisions were made by them. If they feel that some of them could be pushed out, farmed out to the community, they are that simple of a decision to be made, then yeah, I think that should be it. But the default of having everybody choose what these guys do, I'm not really a fan of that way of doing things, for the reasons I've just said. They're going to, or they have done, a 2-month progress report, and in the last 2 months they've done loads. And finally, if you're voting yes on this, you should vote no on the other one. And there's me again, all up in the comments section. Love this proposal. Keep up the great work, Kitty and Tuvok. Yeah, for me, I feel like it's a great proposal, and it's in the same here's the thing, in the same vein that I'm not overly happy with having to decide on what they build. I feel that they should get to decide that. I also feel like if they feel this is the best way to do it, and that's why they are putting this forward, then I'm happy to help, as it were. I'm happy to help. It would be good. It will be difficult for them to get all of the information out about all of the proposals that they're doing, but I don't think that's their problem. I think that's where DAOs need to improve. The pro about it is it definitely guarantees more end user focused development. People are going to say yes to things that are important to them, and they potentially could say no to things that aren't important to them. It's unlikely they would say no, because a no vote is also a vote against the judgment of Kitty and Tuvok, which it's going to be, that's a difficult thing to do considering what they've built beforehand. It also simplifies the funding model, although it adds the amount of funding that the amount of consideration that goes into the funding. It simplifies it because it's quite simple. Every single thing we do, we're going to come and say it's going to cost this much, fund it or don't. I think the cons of this proposal are that it's very difficult for the average user to be able to say whether or not Kitty and Tuvok should be full-time developers. Most people don't really know what these developers are doing, and most people don't really know if what they're getting paid is a good wage or a high wage or a low wage. That's just out of most people's knowledge base. So deciding who should be the developers, the core developers, for me it's a little bit of it's a tough one, because we're going purely on reputation alone. So I feel it's difficult for non-technical people to decide who should be the technical people. And obviously the second con for this proposal is, like I already stated, that I think it probably leads to masternode owners having to do more work. It's difficult. Voter apathy is already high. No, it's not high. It's maybe slightly high. Voter apathy is already slightly high within DAOs. So adding this much more work, on the flip side, it could be seen as giving them this much more involvement, which could lower apathy and make more people vote. So I guess it could be looked at both ways. For me, what am I voting? I'm voting yes. I'm voting yes. Yes by a long way. There are, of course, there are worries with regards to it, and I've raised them, but it's definitely yes. If it's what these two people want to do, then I'm happy to support them. If that's the model that they want, I'm happy to support them. They've so far self-regulated themselves. They've self-motivated themselves. They've built what they want to build, and it's worked out really well. My PIVX wallet alone is it's a godsend for the PIVX community. It really is. So that is that. That's the second proposal. So that's 2 yeses so far, and we are only 16 minutes in. So for the first time in ages, we are making good time. Next proposal. Right, I had a choice of 2 here, and I took the easy way out. There was, I wonder if the, let's see. It's still going. The voting's still going. Even when this video gets released, voting's still going. But it was between that one, and it was between that one and this one. This one is only elected officers may represent the will of the chain. This is kind of similar to what prompted me to create alliances on PIVX, whereby you don't want any old person being able to say, well, I was the founder, or I was the this, or I was the that, so I can say what the chain wants. So they've had this. It's getting loads of no votes. I'm not even going to get into why. I believe it's probably because the solution being offered is not the solution that people want. Maybe there's not been enough discussion around it, but that's not what I've actually come to discuss. I've not come to discuss that one. Maybe I should have, because it's a lot more involved. So maybe I should have discussed that one. Maybe I've taken the easy way out and hidden away from this much more controversial, let's say, topics. There's a new one here: no criminal decisions. Okay, so there's so many proposals come through. It's interesting that this one is increase the amount of deposit for Evmos governance. So what this aims to do basically is raise the price that it costs for you to put in a proposal from $60 or equivalent in Evmos up to I think it's 1,000. There we go, up to $1,100 in equivalent. So it's about a 20x increase in the amount of money you have to put down as a deposit. How the voting works within Evmos is you vote. People can vote yes, abstain, no, or no with veto. If they vote yes, then your proposal goes through, you get the payout that you asked for, or whatever you asked to be done gets done. If the people vote abstain, then what they're saying is, I don't want to vote yes or no, but I've seen it, but I don't want to vote yes or no. Or they can vote no, which means that they don't agree with your proposal, or they feel that the answer to your proposal should be no. It might not be I don't agree, but the answer to your proposal should be no. And then there's no with veto. Now, no with veto means not only should the answer to your proposal be no, but your deposit should also be forfeit. So if I put a proposal saying I would like Cryptosi to be recognized as the supreme ruler of Evmos, and everybody who ever uses Evmos agrees to sell me their soul, it would probably get a no with veto. A no with veto would mean I would lose my £1,100 if this proposal goes through, which it looks like it is. As always, it seems, with Evmos proposals, I'm in the minority because I would vote no to this. And I'm not going to say why quite yet. Let's go through the pros and cons in a slightly more officious manner. Let's have some parliamentary procedure here, because I did take notes. The pros, I've only put one pro here. That is well worded, simple and understandable proposal. It's nice and concise, which I always appreciate. The cons. The cons are that it's kind of worded as if they want to avoid spam. Now, $60 for each proposal avoids spam. It's then going to cost me $600 to put in 10 proposals. I'm not going to do that. That's expensive. I'm not going to spam like that. If I do spam like that, you can always no with veto and just collect my money. So I think $60 is easily enough to stop the spam. As the note says here, community members must not be priced out of making proposals on the chain. Now, $1,000 for each proposal, as far as I'm concerned, it does price out a lot of people. I think it prices out a lot of people. It does mean that you could, on the flip side, gather up enough, and this would be the argument, this would be the counter argument. You could, on the flip side, gather up enough support by speaking to people prior to launching your proposal. So you go into the forums and you try to get the momentum prior to your launching your proposal, and then if you don't have enough money, you can then get support from other people within the community. I don't know, 5 people might support you with $220 each, and then you'll have the $1,100. That would be the counter argument to say, oh, well, you're not being priced out. You just need to get support for your proposal before you put your proposal in. To be honest, that's a great counter argument. There's not really much you could say about that counter argument. Me personally, I'm okay with there being a purely $60 entrance fee and people going through and doing it. I think $60 stops spam. I think $1,100 not only stops spam, but I think it might daunt some people, because $1,100 may be more than they've even asked for. The Russian-speaking community of Dash, which is arguably a far bigger project, not arguably, it's just a far bigger project, far longer lasting, far bigger reaching, far bigger community. They're only asked for $1,000. So for them to get $1,000 in deposit to ask for $1,000 could be a little bit daunting. It could put them off. I think you've got more chance of putting people off than you have got chance of people actually putting in spam. Having said that, there are a lot of proposals here, and some of these proposals, like, I've not actually read this one, but just looking at this title, some of these proposals do look like they're like, I've got an opinion and I'm prepared to pay $60 for everybody to hear my POS opinion. Oh no, it's Christian, so no, it's probably not. Okay, let's quickly read this. Let's do this on the fly. Let's read this on the fly. I like Christian, so I'm surprised that this is one of his. General consensus, no criminal decisions. Like, that kind of seems lazy, but I guess he's maybe gone for impact. The discussion is no criminal decisions on Evmos. What are they saying? It's on Reddit. Previous discussions was on the Commonwealth. Today my Commonwealth account was banned. Therefore, the above Reddit thread is the discussion. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. That is sad. That's why you need decentralized places for discussion. I don't think anyone should get banned unless they're putting up indecent images of vulnerable people. Other than that, I don't think anyone should get banned. No criminal decisions. Oh no. And they've removed the post from the Reddit as well. Worldwide. Right, okay, but the problem is I can see the responses. But I can't see the actual post because the post has been removed. So stop trolling. What is this trash? Oh wow. Yeah, this is sad. It's sad to see when this sort of thing happens. Maybe Christian has lost the crowd. Maybe he's lost the room for whatever reason. He's saying things that people don't want to hear. Does that mean that what he's saying is wrong? People once thought the earth was flat. I'm not. And lastly, Jesus on a stick. This is contrary to everything that stands as decentralization and blockchain. Laws are still, to this day, very dependent on the governing morals and culture. They're not exempt of judgment. Okay, by what deems to be correct. I don't know. The can't see it. Can't see the post. Maybe the original post might be here. This might be the last time I cover Evmos, to be honest with you. Okay, right. Evmos change shall only pass decisions that comply with criminal law, assuming no extent conflict with internal law, federal law, EU law, blah, blah, blah. Meaning of the decision. If the proposal passes, Evmos governance commits to adherence with the rule of law. The proposal does not pass. The chain signals its disregard for the laws of the land and eventual premeditation to break the criminal law only. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to say. It looks like he's lost his mind. Okay, only the chains that pass proposals compatible with this one will have legitimacy to enter common governance platforms for the interchain. Through this proposal, we offer Evmos the opportunity to be an early leader. No, that's not going to work. I don't think he's trolling. I think he. Okay, right. So I think what Christian simply hasn't considered, or has considered, but where me and Christian will simply disagree, and I'm going to join the mob. I hate joining the mob, but where we're going to simply disagree is that the chain supersedes law. The chain does what the chain wants to do. There is no way to say in the future the chain will not break a law. There may be a law that comes in that says anybody whose name starts with a C is not allowed to go outside, and the chain may just say, here's money to give C a trip to somewhere outside. You can't. This is just not going to work. It shouldn't work. So, okay. It was interesting, and I see what he's trying to do. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to say, well, let's make sure we don't break the law. But in some countries, it's illegal for women to go to school. There's some laws we're just going to have to break. I do love you, Christian, but yeah, you've missed on this one. Everybody misses sometimes. Obviously, apart from me, I don't miss. I don't miss. So anyway, that wraps up Evmos, which was, I think, a little bit longer than usual. Yes, that was a bit longer than usual. So now we have another long episode. But yeah, no criminal decisions. Volunteer for Christian. Yeah, no. Additional legitimacy by recognizing the rule of law. No, sorry. It's down to the rule of law to recognize the chain, not the other way around. The chain cannot recognize the rule of law unless it's coded in. The chain cannot recognize the rule of law, and there's no way you can code. Well, you probably could, but it would be so difficult. There are so many ramifications. Not only that, but the rule of law is not. It's not a yes and no. You can't promise not to break the law because it's subjective. It's down to opinion. Law, by its very nature, is down to the opinion of certain men or women at certain times. Some people might see that you've broken a law. Some other people might say that you haven't. So, unfortunately, this just has to go out the window. This has to be a no. I wouldn't go no with veto, though. I wouldn't go no with veto. I think the no with veto is spite, because this person is generally running against the grain. And I think the more you run against the grain, the more outlandish your ideas become, because you start to see the flaws in the mob mentality. But yeah, this one, sorry, you're just wrong. I wouldn't go no with veto. I think the people who have done this are being a little bit harsh. But maybe this is a good reason to make each proposal cost $1,000. Would you have put this through as $1,000 as a proposal? Does it need to be discussed? I think it's a good discussion. I'd like to have this guy on. I'd like to interview this guy. I really should. I'm going to reach out to him, see if I can interview him for maybe just a short interview, half an hour. We could just discuss the reasons why this can't be a thing. It just can't be a thing. It just can't be. Small anecdote. When we wrote the manifesto for PIVX, the first line read, "Privacy is a basic human right." And I wanted to remove the word human. Now, I was under the impression that we actually got the word human removed, because if we said it was a human right, it sounded like a legal term. And I wanted it to be clear that the chain superseded the law. So the law is there, okay, yeah, follow it or don't follow it. But the chain is not going to follow the law. The chain is going to do what the chain wants to do. If the people that are a part of the law then go to chase after the people who are interacting with the chain, that's fine. That's fine. That's why we strive for privacy. And that was along these lines. Okay, let's move on, because we've been on this one for too long. But yeah, Christian, keep up the good work. Really do. Keep up the good work. Keep up the discussions. Keep pushing forward with things like this, even though I think you're wrong. Keep pushing forward with them, because I think it's a discussion that needs to be had often, needs to be reiterated, and people need to learn. Like Christian needs to learn. He needs to understand that the chain comes first. To heck with your laws. Okay. Let's move on to SISMO. We're going to have to rush through this one because I took so long on the Evmos. I can't believe I took so long on Evmos. Okay, so SISMO. SISMO is a short project which revolves around digital IDs. If I can go back to SISMO. SISMO revolves around digital IDs. Let me pop this website. It all runs on Ethereum. You get your own digital IDs there. You get ZK badges for reputation, portability and aggregation, and also so that you can prove certain things without proving other things. So you can say, I'm not going to tell you which address I've got, but the address that I've got has traded 1,000 ETH worth of NFTs, which leads us nicely into the current proposal. Okay, so the current proposal will accept the WIW protocol NFT legendary trader ZK badge as a curated badge. Now, I wonder if I can launch this without Showing you all my passwords. Right, so this is how SISMO works. You do stuff on the network and not fully audited yet. Yeah, that's why I'm not using it yet. And you can collect your badge. So for example, if you've used RhinoFi a lot, you can create your RhinoFi badge. Prove eligibility, select destination, mint the badge. Oh, that does answer a question that I did have. Prove eligibility, select destination, mint the badge. So you can prove that a certain address is eligible. You can select the destination where you want the badge to go, and then you can mint it. Perfect. GR15. I hope you don't have to mint it from the address. But anyway, there's all these things. Now the WIW protocol, which I will do here, W protocol. Is it's just loads of badges. They have loads and loads of badges for loads and loads of different things. If you look at if we go to the badge library, what they're saying in this proposal is that SISMO users should be able to have this, let's see, NFT badge should pop up here. The SISMO users should be able to have this NFT badge like this one. I think it's this legendary NFT trader. Yep. So if you've got an NFT trading profit of equal to or above 100 ETH, there's 6.13 thousand owners. I don't know if there's that many owners. I think there's maybe that many addresses that are eligible. That many owners, bloody hell. Yeah. Oh, there's that many addresses that are eligible. Anyway, they want to have that as one of the curated badges here. So there are curated badges here, but then on top of that, people can enter their own badges, or I can create my own badge. So I can create a badge that says, if you've used the Bidify minting system more than 100 times, then you get this badge, Bidify mint expert, something like that. Let's go back here and I'll put the docs up. Oh dear, it's never a good sign. Let's try the docs from down here. Yep, there we go. What I wanted to do was just go quickly through the pros and cons and then say whether I was which way I was going to vote. I love digital IDs. I think they're super important. They're great. You can give a reputation with them. I think they're great. I think it's great technology. Soulbound tokens also are pretty interesting. That's what I like. One of the main things I like about the SISMO is that the badges are soulbound. WIW is a respected and trusted system. Hopefully this will be the first of many WIW badges they curate, because I think they're good. The only con I could find of this proposal, not even the proposal, it's just the whole concept. So it's still quite new, so it's not quite proven. I was nitpicking because I was struggling to find a con, but yeah, it's still quite new. It's not quite I'd say not quite battle hardened yet. We haven't had any situations where people have had leaks, privacy leaks due to the Web3 identities, or poorly implemented ZK setups. Zero knowledge is what ZK stands for. So overall, my decision is definitely a yes, massive yes, with bells on. So during the episode today, we've had a yes from Dash for the Russian speaking community, a yes for JS Kitty and Tuvok. We had a no for Evmos for the increase the spam, but then I kind of wanted to change that to a yes after having seen, I don't want to say the spam from Christian, but a proposal which I don't think needed to go to proposal level. I'm going to stick with no. I'm going to stick with no on the Evmos. I think that the spam level should stay at $60, but it's not going to. And finally, SISMO, I think they should incorporate the WIW badge for NFT traders. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. I don't think I deserve one of those badges. But there are some badges that I do deserve. Let's see. DeFi token. Oh no, liquidity mining. Let's take off token. Let's take off NFT. Let's see DeFi liquidity mining. Let's see if there's any tokens here. Here we go. Look, net worth Uniswap V2 LP tokens 1 million. Yep, I deserve one of those and 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 one of those. I'm only joking. I ain't got money like that. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Sorry that I missed the last episode 2 weeks ago, but it was Christmas and I was ill. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all of that other good stuff. I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much. Peace.